Hey everybody, it's Joy with joyslife.com, and I'd like to welcome you to the first of 52 weeks of craft projects, videos, ideas, and instruction called 52. I hope that you'll take some time at least once a week to do something creative. Well, let's get started with the first project. What I thought we'd do this week is to use vinyl as a resist on a paint project. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. This is just a wood block like you would get here. Okay, it started like this. If you don't have a wood block like this, I just had my husband cut some wood that we got from the local hardware store. You can do it yourself. You can have them do it at the hardware store, whatever you'd like. You can also get wood plaques like this. It's not a block, but it still works just fine. They sell these at most local craft stores. So use that, and then what I did was to paint my block white. And that's all that is. It's just a painted white block. For this example, I used a paint sample by Valspar that we got from Lowe's. So they had a whole bunch of these. I've got another one right here in gray. And they had a lot of different colors. They're very inexpensive. This is a satin paint, and that's what I painted this block with. And I just used one of my foam brushes, and I'll show you that in a minute. So what I did was to then put the vinyl down and then paint over it with another color. And then you take the vinyl off and you have this. Now this is one of my distressed blocks. So I ran a little distress tool and my other one wore out, so I got a new one. You can just use a little block like this, little sanding block. This one came from Lowe's too. But you can get them at craft stores. They don't look just like that, but those are perfect. Then you just sand it down if you want to give it a distressed look. So that's what these two things are. So what I'm going to do now is weed my key. And that means to take all the vinyl we don't want to use away from the vinyl we do want to use. And I'm just using a little hook tool or a pick tool to take my vinyl off. I cut my vinyl out using a die cut machine. And I got this file, it's called The Keys, from Lettering Delights. So this is kind of a neat little file. I'm going to make this for my daughter. She likes keys. She loves Tim Holtz and all his cool stuff, and he works with a lot of keys and neat hardware things like that sometimes, so she just really likes that. So what we're going to do now is use transfer tape and cover the key. So I'll take some of that off. I've got a clear transfer tape here. It makes it easy to see what you're doing, so I like that. Okay, now I'm just going to use my little squeegee here and get the transfer tape down over the key so I can peel it up off of its backing. And there we go. Now all I need to do is put the key on top of my painted block. Let me make sure I have it like I like it. I think that looks pretty good. So I kind of stick it down and then burnish it down again with your squeegee. If you don't have a squeegee, use a debit card, credit card, gift card, that kind of thing. Driver's license, whatever you have, and that works too. Okay, and now it's down. You want to make sure that it's really stuck down there. So run your finger over it. If there are any bubbles, the paint will get under the bubbles and you won't have the exact result that you probably wanted. All right, so I feel like it's down pretty well. Now we just need to paint with the next color. I am going to use this gray. All right, I've got my paint open and I'm just going to dip directly into it and begin painting. We're going to paint right over the key. I think I'll paint the whole block for this. So what I'll do is take care of that, and after it has some drying time, and I've done a couple of layers, I'll get right back to you. Well, some time has passed and the block is now dry. So I'm going to go ahead and use my hook tool to lift the vinyl off of the block. So you just want to carefully peel it up. And it's okay if the vinyl tears because you're trying to get it off anyway. You just want to go slowly, take your time. And I'm actually going to go ahead and clip this because I don't want it to accidentally pull up any of the paint that might be stuck to the vinyl and also the block. And I'm just going to cut the vinyl away just a little bit. This is really just so it doesn't pull up too much of the paint, or any of the paint if I can help it. Okay, now this one will be real easy because I just need to pull it forward. And I'm kind of pulling in the direction of the image. Yay, look at that, looking good. There we go. Ta-da! I really like this. That turned out great. So now I've got a little key, and I think my daughter's gonna like this for her room. You can sit it on a bookshelf or whatever you want to do. And again, if I want to, I can use the distressing tool to distress it like I did my D, just like that. So that might look nice. I think this key might look really cute distressed, and that will be very neat. So that is how you use vinyl as a resist, because the paint stays on the vinyl, and when you pull it off, it reveals the color underneath. So you can do a variety of colors and all kinds of different fun images. And don't forget, you can distress it. Just use, move some things out of the way, just use a sanding block or whatever you have. Sometimes you can even use a fingernail file to sand away the edges if you want a more distressed look. Well, thank you so much for viewing my very first episode of 52, and I hope you'll come back next week for a new project. Have a great week. Bye. I decided to distress it. So you just run your little distressing tool or sandpaper, whatever you have, right over it until you get it like you like it.